But it wasn't then that I joined the business. I dropped out of college again, and I traveled the world. I became a yoga instructor, but I really had no idea how I was going to make money, how I was going to be able to afford a home in my hometown. I came home broke, and I wound up opening my own yoga studio. Fast forward, someone approached me to work online, but it wasn't with this opportunity yet. It was with a low ticket opportunity. And I wound up doing pretty well with that opportunity, but I wasn't making a lot of money. I was pretty broke. And I wound up having a dog who was sick from birth, and she was dying basically in my arms. Every vet bill was about $3,000. So I was like, what am I gonna do? So I decided to live on my brother's couch because he was either paying for rent or paying for my dog's vet bills. And everyone was like, just put down the dog. And I was like, no, I'll live on the couch with the dog. So that is when Enagic came into my life. So I just want to show you some photos. That was me as a child. Not super happy all the time. It was a hard upbringing. That was me traveling around the world. My yoga studio was called Ideal Living. Has anyone here owned a brick and mortar business? It's really hard. Yeah, I thought that was my big break, and it was not. It was very hard. You can see there, I would travel and I would stay and sleep in hammocks because I didn't have a lot of money. That was me with my low-ticket business speaking on stage, but realistically, during that same time, I had maybe $500 in my bank account. It was not like Enagic. Enagic is so generous, and the amount of money we make in this business is beyond anything I've ever seen, because Mr. Oshiro is the most generous man I've ever met. So yeah, give it up for Mr. Oshiro. He really changed my life. He probably has no idea who I am, but he changed my life. And that's the couch that I slept on with my dog. That she's really comfortable. And yeah, I'll hand it over to Steven to share a little bit more about his journey. And then I want to share with you what Enagic, the type of impact it's not only had on me, but on so many people.
Yeah, so what I love about kind of our story is that we come from, we're from the same hometown, but we have very different stories, and it kind of just goes to show that regardless of where you're coming from, that Enagic is an incredible opportunity for anyone, and anyone can find success in this opportunity. I grew up in a very typical middle-class family and really just followed the system. Go to school, take like the safe path. I really thought that having good grades and listening to figures of authority would set me up to be wealthy and successful for the rest of my life. And what I came to find is that I got a college education, I graduated with a business degree, and ended up working a job that I didn't even need that degree for. And I was kind of just into that 9-to-5 rat race and found myself drained and burnt out and really didn't see a future that I was excited about. And that's when I started dating Lacey, and I began to see the possibilities of what my life could look like with this opportunity. She found this opportunity, and at about that time, I was completely fed up with where I was at, and I went all in. Without hesitation, I saw the opportunity before me, and I just went all in. I quit my 9-to-5 job the day that we signed our paperwork.
You don't recommend that?
Yeah, don't necessarily recommend that. It worked out for us, but yeah, my story is quite a bit different. But yeah, I was fed up with where I was at, and I saw that this opportunity would provide a future that I was really excited about. And like Lacey, I had a couple pictures here of just high school, college, just a little bit of travel here and there, working the 9-to-5 for a family business, which working with family can be amazing, but it can be difficult, but it wasn't providing what I really wanted. And soon enough, Lacey and I were dating, and we split time between living at my mom's house to save money and joining her on the couch there at her brother's house. So that's kind of my story. And we wanted to also share about how Enagic has impacted our lives and what we've been able to do with the success that we've seen. And we've been able to donate thousands to charities and causes that we love and are important to us. We've gifted thousands to family members. Since our dog passed away, who was the reason that we got into this business, we've rescued 2 dogs from South Korea. We were able to fly them over here. We bought a home in the town that we're from, in the Hamptons, where we both grew up. Then we were able to do things like fly Lacey's parents to our wedding in Hawaii, which we were able to pay for in full. We flew them to Charleston to see her sister get proposed to, and Florida to visit their parents. And we've bought things for my mom because she was gracious enough to let us stay at her house and support us while we were building this business. And then we've been able to host countless meetups with our team and host events to really spread this opportunity and this message of Enagic to as many people as we possibly can. We were able to then move to Austin, Texas, buy a second home, which we were absolutely in love with. And there's a lot of other things we've done, including enrolling our girls in private schools, and basically just traveled all over the world to be able to come to events like this, speak at events, and inspire other people to really change their lives.
So I know that was a big, long list of all the things, and it might feel like a brag to some people in the room, but I get so emotional thinking about all the things we've been able to do because of Enagic. Because we're really breaking generational cycles in my family and his family because of this business. So that's my dog that, yes, passed away. But she's the reason we started this business. So it's so beautiful that she had such an impact on our lives forever. And you can see us there. We traveled around the US. These are just some photos of what Stephen was sharing. Our house in the Hamptons and our house in Austin, Texas. And some events that we've run with our team, our new rescue dogs. And that bottom right photo, I showed a photo of my checking account, and one of the last slides was $500 I had to my name to pay for everything. That's why I was living on a couch. And last summer, we had our first ever $101,000 deposited into our account in one day. And I just had to share that because I was blown away that could ever even be a possibility for me. I never thought that. You might be in this room thinking that could never happen to me. I felt the exact same way 6 years ago when we started this business. So I just wanted to share with you guys how it started. So it's so crazy to be on the stage right now because 6 years ago, in 2019, we were in San Diego and we had rented a mansion with 10 of our team members. We had one 6A, and that was our one account at 6A. So for the people who walked today for 6A, maybe you had some team dinners, you have so much to look forward to. This was our first San Diego event in June of 2019. And now, we own multiple Dash 3 positions. We have 2 positions going Dash 3. We have a couple sales away from Dash 4. And we have 76 A's in our organization. 70. Thank you so much. And now our events look so much different. We have hundreds of people at the event. We have almost 200 people here in this room today for Free Life. Thank you guys so much. And I'm going to go into a couple tips and leave you with a couple tips to grow with Enagic. But what I really want to say, what's so special to me is this industry and the people I've met. I've met some of my best friends, not just on my team, sideline buddies. I had people praying for me before this. It's so, so, so beautiful. The people that you meet, the relationships that you cultivate, the conversations that you have. I'm not the biggest fan of speaking on stage, but I love that I can get to have an impact and inspire people. So that's really beautiful too. And shout out to all of the speakers today. I know that you're all doing such an amazing job and you're really inspiring people. So a couple tips, thank you guys. A couple tips, from us for finding success with Enagic. is prioritizing this business. One of my favorite people and one of my main mentors now, his name is Ayala Kanai, and he says, show me your, woo, yeah, Ayala! He says, show me your calendar and I'll show you your life. And it's true. If you prioritize this business, it's going to be on your calendar every day. You're going to be touching this business. I always tell my team, your business is like a newborn baby. And so if you leave it, it's not going to do well. It's going to die. I tell people that all the time. And so, but if you feed it and you nurture it, here I am 6 years later, and I have this thriving business and this thriving team because I touched it every single day. And pray and have faith. A lot of people in the room, I used to be this manifestation queen, and now I have to shout out Jesus. But either way, I'm on a journey, a faith journey, and I read the Bible every day now. And in the Bible, it talks about prayer and faith and ask, and it is given. And Mark 11:24, therefore I tell you, whatever you ask for in prayer, believe that you have received it, and it will be yours. We have to believe it first. Believe it, and then you will see it. Stay consistent. It's never a matter of if, it's always a matter of when. And this next one's really important. Be okay with things getting uncomfortable. Because if you want to be, I was so uncomfortable this morning because I knew I had to speak in front of thousands of people. But I know that that's the only place that you grow, is outside of your comfort zone. So you can't have your old life and your new life too. The process of transformation is going to be uncomfortable because the old you has to die for the new you to rise up. And a couple more tips I have. Surround yourself with those on the path. You are the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. That is so true. So if you have naysayers in your ear, even if they're family or friends, you know, I had a lot of family members who didn't believe in this business, called it a scam, called me a scammer, and I had to really put the blinders on for 6 years until I got to a place where I felt really strong to own this industry and own this business. And always show up for your team no matter what. I would be nothing. I wouldn't be up here without my team. They're literally everything to me, and I will always, always tell them that their success is their success. I will never take credit for their success. I'm just so grateful that they chose to work with me. And I love the quote, you've got to give it away to keep it. So give everything away. Give all your resources to your team. Allow them to grow and prosper. And I'm a big fan of win-win and helping everyone around you because it will always come back to you. Thank you guys so much.